And we're back. So yeah, I think we've just seen Dracon Pulos, with like a small cadre of like people, like surrounding him, trying to like be a part of his posse. All of whom I think we recognize as like people who are in a similar position to Shardy in that they are, people who used to be more important than they are now, and recognizing that Pulos has somehow held on to some of that.
Right,
yeah,
they're trying to attach themselves to him.
Yeah, try and pull themselves back up on his coattails.
So,
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is he rocking that very iconic look from the 2004 movie Troy, where he's got like pants and he's got like a big like jackety shirty thing, but he's basically bare chested?
Yes, that.
And the color of it is it's all like deep Mediterranean, like blues and indigos, and then some bits of purple because he's like fancy and rich.
Yes, I think he's a like a large fellow, like broad and stocky. I think he's probably played by Brian Cox standing on like a block so that he'd see.
I was about to say,
and yeah,
I was about to ask if he was played by Brian Blessed, because that was my first thought when I heard Brian come out of your mouth.
Yes, 100%.
Right, like.
But if we could get Brian Blessed to like remove most of his beard so that he's just got a big fabulous mustache and goatee.
Yes,
in like
I'm into it.
A deep, oily black, and his hair is also like a deep, oily black.
It is literally oiled with like fine-smelling perfume oils.
No, yes, but like not like slick, right? It's to make sure it's like mane-like.
No, he's classy. He's classy.
Yeah. He's covered in like all of this like gaudy jewelry and stuff. Like,
look, he's classy enough not to make his hair totally drenched in oil. I think he gets points for that.
Yeah.
We're not flipping any tokens for his hair.
No. Now that I'm done describing him, Sean, I think you were trying to say something.
I also had a question, and that is more of a clear. I've made an assumption, and I want to make sure that I want to confirm it or deny it. My assumption is that what's been in Shoddy's head and what she has shared with everybody is that the reason why she wants to go to this party is because she thinks the Daikon might be a good ally for helping certainly herself, but to a larger extent, all of us. And I want to know if that's something that I think we've discussed it, and I wonder if that's an understood part of the plan, or if this is just all in Shoddy's head, and she's like, "Cool, we're all here," but everyone else is like, "Nope, we got different agendas to go on," because she's assuming that that's what's happening, and I'm kind of wanting to I can play her as wrong, which would be hilarious, but I kind of want to see if that's
my agenda is 1, back up Shoddy, 2, if there is a chance, get in a fight with Integraverters. Not necessarily in that order. Yes. I think in Carrick's head, that's the order of priorities. In my head as a player, we'll see.
6 of one, half that dozen the other.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, Puros is here to choke down lots of feelings and be internally conflicted.
Got it.
I thought you were going to say choke down lots of food.
I thought you were going to say choke out lots of nobles.
Well, and I mean, I think Shoddy would have said very directly to Pyros that she is not looking for a husband. She's looking for someone that will see her, and then I think after a pause, see all of us as people. Which there's no reason to indicate that Dagon necessarily would, but she is hopeful. So I'm not sure how much that makes it awkward or less awkward or more, but
so yeah, I just want to point out it's Dracon.
Or
all
Dracon,
his stuff is emblazoned with like a wyvern, right? Like 100%. It's but it's like a Eastern dragon, because he's like, well, I am Dracon, and I have heard of these tales of these strange winged lizards that breathe fire, and they have a name that is like mine, so I'm going to like. And so he's like taking this as an affectation.
He's doing some gross cultural appropriation.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. He's pretty sure that like the point of dragons is that they're powerful and scary.
I mean, I will observe that everything that's just said sounds like he's appropriating Western dragons from up north, not Eastern dragons. Powerful, scary, wings, breathe fire.
Yeah, that's what he thinks they mean.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Right.
Right? Like he's
doing both.
Yeah.
He's taking the iconography of the Eastern dragons and the actual attributes of the Northern dragons.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Anyway, so yeah. He like throws his arms wide and like booms with laughter and is like Shadi, your beauty has not faded an inch. In fact, you are more radiant today than I have seen you in a lifetime. Ah, the memories, Shadi. So sad to hear about Dominus. But I see that you have company with you. I'm glad that you accepted the invitation and that you took advantage of the +1. Do tell me, introduce me to your wonderful companion. How do you know each other? Are you? And like he just trails off, right? Like, because he doesn't want to say the word like married or fucking, right?
Involved?
Yeah, no, I think that there's an etiquette to leaving those things unsaid, and you don't need to say. You could just trail off and let the other person pick up. I think Shadi will embrace Dracon in the way that is expected, which is like putting her hands on his like shoulders and like kissing his cheek or something like that, in like the sort of cultural normative way. Like she will observe the pleasantries, right?
Yeah.
And she will be smiling.
He always
Can I make it sad?
I think you know like. So I'm interested. You probably know that he will always try and pull you in for a more like personal like embrace because you're a woman. He will always be like, "Oh no, I want more of a like kiss than a polite peck." Right?
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm happy to roll it, but like there's a reason why I have 4 air is because I'm really good at like slipping out of those things, like making the embrace and then slipping away before it gets gross. Or it already got gross. Slipping away before I'm sorry.
I'm not going to make you roll for that. I just wanted to know if that was the thing that you like, what your response to that was.
Yeah. I think.
Can I make this sad and difficult for you, Sean?
Yes, please.
Because I feel like it's entirely possible, and in fact probable, that what is like normative cultural behavior has shifted since the revolution. And so you and Dracon are embracing each other in like the old style because it's the only form of noble address you are familiar with.
Yeah.
And so like there's a bunch of like side-eyeing of like from all the like current members of
I think that's great, but I don't think it makes it sadder because to me that like creates like intrigue rather than like making Shadi feel bad about that. Like I think it's a great point. I just don't know if it's like hurting.
I feel like so my case for it being sad is that it's another way in which you're never going to fit in.
Very true. Yeah.
Right? Like you've spent all this time since the revolution learning to live a new life like as a non-anything. And like even if it all goes to plan, like you are still going to have to learn a whole new way of doing things because the old way is just gone.
I think to make that stick, Jasmine would have to like have another one of her like shrill laughs.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
and like say like maybe we can't hear what she says because she's too polite to say it out loud.
She makes a comment behind a fan to someone, and there's like a little titter. Yeah,
sniggering about it. To her friends. Yeah.
If you want to flip a token, I will make you roll to avoid embarrassment about this particular thing. Right? In that like. Someone is going to be like, oh, look at these like people who don't know how to be like, and it'll drag Dracon down a little bit. Is the concern, right? Like,
Yeah.
Because-
No, I would like to flip the coin, and I would like not to roll.
I have something
That's not
that
no. I'm sorry.
I have something that may be worth flipping a coin without rolling.
Well, hold on. My point is, I'm happy to accept that embarrassment. I don't need to like
embarrassment.
resist.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In which case, flip a coin, and and like
Yeah.
Jasmine titters behind a thing, and you and like she and you overhear like, oh, that poor man to be to be on her arm, like as if Rice is the one being embarrassed here by like
Right, because Rice is an upstanding.
she's being like,
Sorry,
oh,
Rice.
like these people are like embarrassing Rice with their old ways. Ooh, gross.
Yeah.
So 100% flip a token for that.
Cool. Kidders, did you also have? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I had a thing, but it is unrelated.
Okay.
It is a unrelated thing that is also could be sad about this
Hopefully
scene.
gonna be sad.
We'll just like tuck that in my pocket for now.
I was gonna say, we can't flip 2 coins at once, so just hold on to it because I'm sure it'll come up.
You can. I consider it like if you flip 2 coins at once, I'm going to hit you harder and harder, like exponentially, right? Like,
Yeah.
Well,
I'll just keep that on the back burner.
Yeah. Did you flip one, Sean? I didn't see one flipped.
I didn't.
No.
Can you
I
do
will
that
flip
for me?
one now.
Cool.
Okay, I have flipped.
Cool. Good job. It's just that I like to make sure that y'all are flipping them rather than me, because otherwise we might flip multiple ones at once.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So there's this like titter and like Dracon like looks up at her and is like at this like tittering and is and like I think he like puts an arm around you to like guide you and your companion like towards the balcony to the south, so that like so that we're like removing you from the situation where you were laughed at, so that you can continue the conversation. And I think he's like waiting to be introduced to.
Right, because that was introducing Rise was definitely going to be my next thing. So I think that's great.
He definitely hands an empty glass to Pyros.
Yeah, and I like.
And
just
you've
take
served under this guy at some point, right? Like.
Yep. Have to like prop myself so I can actually reach out with my one hand and grab it. And then like look around for another servant nearby who's walking around with a tray and like almost fall over, like plopping this on the tray.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Cool. So he's guiding you out towards the grand balcony where the main party is happening.
How homoerotic is this culture?
Being
Like,
gay is.
I mean, it's
being gay
classical
is bad.
Greece.
Yes.
So
It's homoerotic, but you're not allowed to. But like, if anyone knows that you actually fuck a dude, then like,
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Okay. Just wanted to get an idea for how I'm supposed to be like engaging with these other men.
But it seems like innuendo is well on the table, right?
Oh yeah. That like the thing is that you're all brothers in the Republic, and that you love each other deeply as brothers in the Republic.
what I'm hearing here, Ash, is that it's just like America. And you were like, it's super homoerotic, but people get mad if you actually fuck a dude. I'm just like, oh yeah, it's America.
Yep, that's fun. Yep. Yeah. Bro-ish, no homo culture. Exactly right. Chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like kissing on the cheek is like probably standard.
Sure. I mean,
just no tongue. Like,
no tongue.
if there's tongue, it's gay.
yeah.
But smacking on the ass, I'm sure is. I'm sure there's
100%. Yeah.
That's
I'm sure there's a cultural context for that being a very.
That's the behavior of military brothers in arms, there, Sean, that you're talking about. Please.
Yeah. I want to hear this introduction. Sean, do you wanna?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'd like to shift the spotlight to Rise anyway. So I say, I kind of echo some of the things that Dracon said. I say, Dracon, it's been too long. I see that you have done well for yourself, and you always put on the most splendid parties, and tonight is no exception. Please let me introduce to you my good friend, and I emphasize the word friend, to sort of allow uncertainty.
Yeah.
And what that means. My good friend, Rise. Rise, do you have you have a surname that you're
Yes. My full title would be Sergeant Rise Againus.
That's that. Yes, right. Yeah. So I introduce you as such, like a sergeant, because you're military and all this stuff. So I give the full title, and I think I will even talk you up. And oh god, this is really awful. Pyros, are you with us, or do you stay behind?
Oh, I'm like in orbit of y'all,
Okay.
for sure.
So I talk Rise up by saying that Rise did some of the things that I know Pyros has done.
Well, that's because I had primed them with all my war stories, anyways. So yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like
But I think it's going to be meaner because Shadi is saying it. Like you gave that up, but now Shadi's like, oh
Right.
yeah, and
I feel like this is worth a token. This is sad, and it doesn't have to be this sad.
it doesn't have to be, but it is. Yeah. I think that-
I'll allow one to be flipped because I'm gonna play off it.
Right.
Like you flipping the token gives me permission to be like, okay, I'm gonna take this sad thing, and
Yeah.
play with it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Run with it.
Yeah.
Right. So I would like to build in Dracon an affinity for Rise. Like
Yeah.
I would like Dracon to feel like, oh, you have similar experiences to me. You're a person that I should trust and admire and like and like feel unguarded around. Or not unguarded, but feel like comfortable around.
I should feel comfortable slapping your butt, son.
Right. I mean, Shadi is looking to establish to gain Dracon as an ally, and so
Yeah.
she wants, and she's doing it duplicitously. So there's a part of her that like wavers when she says that he's done all these things because she doesn't really want to be lying to the person that she wants to eventually like help her. So she falters a tiny bit in the middle of it. We'll see whether or not she covers that up. maybe she.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Dracon is +1, and I'm just checking to see.
Is being in the presence of Pyros, who is being hurt by this.
I think that's a factor. Yeah.
an additional factor.
Yeah, that makes sense as to why it's hard for her to do it. It's difficult for her to say these stories and attribute the.
I think this is
Flashback
actually
to me
4.
spirit bending you to be a better liar. I'm joking.
I think
Right,
it's actually
this is-
4, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's base. There's the element of deception. There's him, and there's Pyros, like in play. So, like the thing here is that like you're basically establishing to the authority in this place that Rice is real, right? Like.
Yeah. Well, and you can hit me up with another factor if you want, because I'm more concerned not that Rice is real, because eventually he's going to find out that Rice is a complete disguise, but that this person, who's actually Risa, well, I'm not saying that yet, is a cool person that you should like. And you should like them even outside of the context of these lies I'm telling you. When these lies all get washed away, you should still think this person is really, really cool.
Yes,
So,
but I can't ever have the number of successes required be higher than 4 at this stage in the game.
Cool. Then maybe I can't shoot for that yet. Maybe that's something I cannot even attempt yet.
Yeah.
No, just take it.
No. I think 4 is okay for this situation.
Yeah.
As far as, like, I feel like some of those are overlapping in a bit, so that I think that's okay.
Fair. Right.
Okay, I would like to flash back, actually, now that I think about it.
God damn
And I am going to spirit bend again, but I'm not going to spirit bend Shadi this time. Because I feel like we flash back to like literally the same, like part of the same scene of like, yeah, Carrick's doing all of this like domestic work of getting them ready, and now Carrick's has like Pyrrhus's old uniform that is now Rice's uniform. And is like, right, because like it's an old uniform, it's not been worn in a very long time, and so they're like mending any tiny little like moth-eaten bits of it, and like washing it and like beating the dust out of it and like polishing the buttons until they shine. And as they do it, they're telling another story. And this one is about another god of their people. And this one is about, who did I say? It was okay, so this one is about the Morning Star. Right, this is about the other half of this paired couple of like deities, who is like the most splendid warrior god of this pantheon, right? And who is like a mighty hunter who across the vast fields of night hunts, like the great winged serpents that are rainbow and like trail through the sky sometimes at the right times of year.
Oh no, the winged serpents are 100% falling stars.
Oh no, you're right.
Yeah, this is like the moon that we're describing here. Yeah. There's the night sky, which is a beautiful woman, and then there's the moon, who's a hunter.
No, I think in this mythology, they're specifically both stars.
Yeah, I think it's the thing of like that thing of like, I think it's actually just like if we were being scientists in the modern day, we'd look back and we'd be like, haha, they think that they're two different stars, but actually it's Venus either in the morning or the evening.
Yeah, no, like 100%, right?
But they think that it's two different things, so therefore there's like these different stories about these two different stars.
But yeah, right, and yeah, this like great and mighty hunter who like, and like a great warrior who in probably the creation mythology like battles with like the seas of chaos to like allow for the world to be formed in the first place. This like radiant, splendid, like golden figure. Yeah, and so this story is being told to the uniform, and it is being told that it belongs to like a mighty hunter and a mighty warrior, and like a brave, noble man who should be worthy of admiration.
Cool. Let's see if you can get 4, team. I would like Shadi to roll first.
That's fair. I'm going to bend oneself and spend 1 water again.
In the reshot and edited version of this show, Terex is the narrator who starts off like working like in the dark, like working in like dim light, like polishing these buttons, and it's like, I'm gonna tell you a story, and it's like telling the audience a story, and then it's like Terex is like the storyteller that's like also the character in it. It's
just like the Jim Henson's The Storyteller with Jonathan Hurt. It's like very much that kind of framing device. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when the studio execs are like, oh, that person
will actually like this show.
That person has a good voice. Yeah, let's use them as our narrator. Awesome. Cool. I will roll first. I am trying to build, and I'm gonna throw in a little bit of air, which is not traditionally good at building, but I'm throwing it in because
you're avoiding the truth.
Because I'm deceiving as well. I feel like it's appropriate. So I'm rolling some air and some stealth.
Would I be able to help here by like embellishing the stories and like it might actually be that Shadi is getting the stories 100% accurate to how Pyrrhus told them, but I'm like fixing the mistakes to be like, no, this is how it happened. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. I should still roll first though, right? Because I'm the
roll first because I want to know.
So I'm rolling we all have to commit our dice before any dice are rolled. Yes. I'm rolling 2 air and 2 self.
I can roll armaments here, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I'm rolling 1 earth and then Sergeant Rise again as an earth.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll my. Now with armaments, we can roll 2 armaments. We can use 2 armaments if one of them is situational and one of them is part of us. Correct?
Yep.
Is that okay? Because I think I am using my grand entrance, which is situational armament, and tales of her beauty, because I think Dracon is enamored with Shadi. As my beautiful armament.
I'm shocked why you would think that, Sean.
It's what I'm playing off of right now. It's what I'm trying to use. So, okay, let's roll these bones. Okay, so far All right. I got 3 successes and lost an arrow and lost a self, and I'm going to roll my armaments, which will not count the...
Yeah, won't count the fate.
Oops. And I rolled the wrong one, but that's okay.
That's
and
right.
I'm
It's
also
still,
gonna
that's
roll.
okay.
It's still the same thing. And
So-
all right, that's 1. So
we're at
got
4.
we're at 4. Yeah.
We're at 4, but everyone still needs to roll to
Still needs
Yes.
to roll.
to see if they exhaust themselves.
We're just going to get a critical hit. We're going to get 8
Yes,
successes.
Exactly, right? We're gonna...
So
Yeah,
I
that's
will
the
roll.
thing.
is that like the more successes you get, like mechanically don't do anything to like dice and stuff, but they do kind of like fictionally inform how successful you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm going to roll my 1 earth for building. Woo!
Nice.
Nice.
And then I'm going to roll as Sergeant Rise again as an earth. No.
Cool. So we're up to 5.
Yeah.
Right,
Yes.
and I'm gonna roll 1 water and bend 1 self.
Mhm.
Damn,
Dang, friend, that was unfortunate.
that was not my best roll.
Oh,
At least
no.
I got it out of the way.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, we're at 5. So like yeah, you not only you succeed and you succeed well. So yeah.
I think Rise should take armament of
Dracon's esteem.
Yes.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. That works for me. So yeah, he's like, I think Dracon like then like turns to Rice and is like, yeah. Well, it's good to have more military men here. And he like looks around, looks straight over Pyros and says, and is like, this whole place is full of civilians, and while that's not a problem, it's nice to have someone who understands how things get done. And like yeah, and he he steps forward out onto the balcony. There's I think a tiger down like on the grass below, being kept in place with like people with spears, and everyone around is like laughing and like clapping as it like roars in distress. And then like a step, and then like down a little further is the heroes field, and he's like, there's not, and yeah, he's definitely like, he's like. Looks across and is like, so many memories, so many good men who died for the Republic, put their lives on the line, and made the ultimate sacrifice. I'm so honored to have a home so close to their memory. And he like looks down and he's like, pity, and like it looks down. It's like pity it's not being properly looked after. It seems. And yeah,
Heroes just like shuffles so that someone else is between him and this dude.
yeah,
Just to keep
Hit
himself
him,
out of sight.
Andrew.
I'll run him through with my old sword later.
yeah. And so he like turns to Rice and is like, "Tell me, Rice, your friend, Shadi. What are your thoughts on her? I've known her for some time. She was a beautiful prize of a campaign from well before your time. Yeah, and he's like, I think he says a thing of like, surely a young man such as yourself is looking for leaner game.
This guy definitely respects non-citizens as people.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. No, he seems pretty shitty. I had hopes. I'm still not giving up. I'm still
Oh,
giving up
Sean. Sweet,
that he-
naive, innocent
that
Sean.
he can't be turned. Well,
I'm
there's
giving you the
one thing.
opportunities, right? Like,
What's that?
I'm giving you the opportunities. You just gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Rise, yeah, like, gives a laugh and says, well, although she might not be as lean as I could get, she does have connections. And I like gesture around. It's like, I may be a sergeant, but not all sergeants get into the parties like this, do they?
He's like, yeah. That's a very you make a very good point, Sergeant. But friends in high places can get you into these sorts of situations as well. And he's like, and friends help friends when they're trying to get things.
Yeah, I think Ryan's like leans in at that and goes, well, I suppose I'll have to make a few friends tonight.
Yeah,
Wink.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like,
slap.
Yeah, butt slap. Yeah, and he's like,
Close embrace.
No. What it is you reach up and you like grasp his arm in a really manly way, but you also totally like feel up his bicep.
Yeah.
And so it's like straddling that line, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's totally like, well, it seems like it seems like you're doing a pretty good job already. You've been here for 5 minutes and you've already made a good impression. Like, yeah. Yeah.
God.
So, I would like to make an observation,
Yes.
and maybe now is not the right time to do it, but I want to make an observation as to whether or not Dracon is genuinely as shitty as everything he's done so far would lead us to believe, or whether or not part of this is his own affectations to fit in, because I think like they're not all people who perpetuate this shit want to be, and some of them may be looking for ways out. Dracon so far has seemed pretty much like a shitheel. But
maybe he's just good at keeping up that appearance.
Maybe he's just
Maybe
good at
he's
keeping up.
secretly gay.
Maybe he's secretly super gay. They're all gay, but it's what they're not thinking.
That sounds like Shardy is like observing Dracon.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I want. I'd like to observe, to ask questions about him. And I want to observe in the context of having this conversation where we talk about how like the Republic has changed and not really for the better. Like,
yeah.
nostalgic.
Yeah,
What's that?
I would want you to fictionally position yourself to like bring that conversation to the fore if you want to.
Absolutely.
Hammer that.
That's a dangerous topic, Sean.
Yeah.
It totally is. But he said like, oh, it's great to have, it's great to be around another soldier, somebody who understands, not like these citizens.
Yeah.
And I say, like, I think, I don't want to like interrupt these two white men talking, but at some point I want to bring that back up and say it is good to be in such good company. Much has changed since you've been on campaign, Dracon. The Republic. I'm sure you've seen, and she sort of like shifts in her dress, which scintillates the gold that's sparkling. I'm sure you've seen more than just. I'm sure you've seen the changes, and some of them are more than just appearances. Some of them go deeper than just a change of garb. It's not the same Republic that it was, and at that point she says, okay, I'm going to be totally risky here. I'm going to say many wise men built the new Republic. Maybe it would have been better if they'd included others in the construction of it. And I want to see his reaction to that.
Yeah.
Because he could infer that as like, they should have included him.
They should have included some strong men too.
Right, but what I'm meaning is they should have included some women and some trans people and some gay people. It's like, right, like, so, and I want to observe like how he takes that. Does he like,
I also am scrutinizing this guy out of bitter, angsty hatred, but I would like to help, I guess.
I mean, like, you can help and then Sean can, like, let you ask some of the questions, maybe?
Yeah, is that okay, Sean? Can we...
Absolutely.
Because this is absolutely... Pyros is just like, who is this fucking...
Right. Well, Shadi really doesn't know who he is because it's been so long. Things have changed. Like, she has a memory of him, but she doesn't really know who he is right now. And so we're catching back up. and I'm making a bold, possibly offensive not possibly, definitely offensive statement that like the New Republic should have included more people in its construction.
And this is a safe place to have that conversation because you've stepped out onto the balcony, like
exactly
slightly away from the crowd. So
right, and I'm giving him an out, which is to say, like, oh, you mean me, like another white guy? Yeah, I definitely should have been involved, but
why didn't we get the army in on this?
Yeah, why didn't we get the military right? So yes, so I'm going to observe. Unless
too
you
many
feel like
nerds, not enough jocks.
Observe still sounds right though for what I'm doing.
It's definitely observe,
even though it's risky, I think.
Yeah.
It sounds desperate to me, Sean.
So I mean,
it's standard effect.
You're going for questions, so I'm not going to give you successes required because it's the number of successes are the number of questions you get to ask.
Right.
I will throw 2 self dice at this.
Yeah, I was hoping that Pyros would get involved in this specifically because he was like shagging on Pyros's work.
Yeah.
Shagging? Ragging. Not shagging. Ragging.
Yeah, no, shagging is not the right word. Possibly in their past, that might have been the right word. But
look, I've got so much word salad recently. It's
yeah.
Actually, that'd be really sad. Can I make it sad? I have a sad suggestion.
No.
Let us roll and then
let's roll and we can
okay.
All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna roll 2 self to observe, and I'm gonna roll 2 self and 1 air to observe, and I think I'm going to use the armament of the dress because I feel like it disarms him in terms of his attraction to Shadi.
Yeah, and I can see a specific reason that might be that. Like, I don't think it's clear to you, but I can see a reason that might be a very effective armament here. So
cool. All right, so we're gonna observe. Oops, wrong button. Observe.
So the fates grant you 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, and I'm gonna roll my armament and see if we get another one.
Nice, well done.
Cool. So we're at 5 successes, and I lost an air.
Yeah, Pyros gives 1 and loses a self.
And Pyros loses himself to help Shadi.
It takes its toll.
Yeah.
Probably just that he's getting all like bitter and twisted
and upset. Yeah.
Right.
Pyros is just getting very upset.
So
he's fuming in the background.
There are 6 questions that you can ask, or you can say, like, tell me something new and valuable. In place of a question.
Okay. Well, so this is the I think the most important question to me. So I'm going to start with it, and then maybe Andrew, you and I can alternate. What here is not what it appears to be? What part? And I mean that specifically. Like, what part of what Dracon is doing is a facade? Like, how much does he just like? Because we're completely lying. We're making all this shit up, like everything about us, and I wonder how much he's lying.
Everyone is lying at least a little bit.
Everyone is lying at least a little bit. Even Jasmine is lying, about who she is, right? Like, we're all pretending.
Yeah. He is not. I don't think he's like specifically putting on pretense of being shitty. Right? Like, that's not really an act, but I think it's motivated in a different way to most of the other folks here. I think that I think the thing that you notice is that, like, I mean, like, as far as things that are not what they appear to be, like, things that are what they appear to be, he's attracted to Shadi and wants her. Like, that's, and, like, specifically because she's not because she's a person of color, right? Like because she's beautiful.
He fetishizes foreigners.
Yeah, but the thing about that is that he has this like weird fetishistic respect for people who are not.
Oh no, he's
right?
one of those noble savage motherfuckers. Oh god.
He's kind of a weeaboo, right? Like,
Oh
yeah, he's one of those dudes.
He's an enthusiast.
Yeah. So, and he definitely, like, his sins as far as like, actually, I think that's all I'm going to give you for that question is that he isn't disrespectful of the people. Like he doesn't think that you're shit, right?
Right.
His like shittiness is not based on thinking he's better than as much as like ignorance and like also wanting to like be a big man regardless of the situation, right? He wants to be the big host and center of attention.
Right.
And also, like, yeah, like some of it is just territorial, like, I am trying to get you off Rice's arm so that I can have.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, there's like a very petty
Yeah.
game that he's playing here.
Yeah.
Cool. That sounds great to me. Andrew, do you want to ask the next one?
No, you should ask the next one.
I think I know the answer to this. I think you may have already given it to me. But what threatens me here?
Your reputation as a pariah. Also, like, yeah, he and like that's gonna come to a head, right? He wants to talk about how great and beautiful you are, and you know, and he's gonna try and obtain you, right? Like in a shitty way, but he
And he might even view it as doing you a favor.
Yeah.
Like, is he trying to marry Shoddy here and be like, yeah, you're mine now?
There's that kind of weird thing going on where he's like, this person is good. I will, like, yeah. But at the same time,
I will elevate her by, getting...
he's
He
confused
could
about his
possibly
own-
want to stick up, like use his privilege to help me, unless he had unless he was getting something out of it, and unless he like had a perceivable justification for it, which is like because I want to marry her or sleep with her or whatever, like that would be a justifiable reason to stick up for me. He couldn't just do it because he thinks that I'm a person that's worth sticking up for.
Yeah, the thing is, like, there's a reason that he's been out on campaign for a lot longer than everyone else, right?
Right.
Because he likes it there. He likes it off in like he
Often
prefers,
foreign parts.
well, he prefers the
What-o.
food. He prefers the climate. He prefers the women. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's like a British officer that goes and actually moves to India.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so, like,
Also,
and like Shardy is like both an example of that, and also like someone that he knew when he was like more heroic than he is now.
Yeah, like as a...
I remind him of that earlier time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you make him feel young again.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the other answer that we
And this
have
is
to give
entirely
for this
based on
question...
like your appearance, right? Like it's not about the conversation you're having with him. It's about like the fact that he's like looks at you and has feelings, not listens to you and has feelings.
Yeah.
I feel like the other answer that has to be given to this question, in to be true to the fiction, and which is also sad, is that like what threatens you here? He is a powerful man, and you are a woman who this society makes vulnerable.
I mean,
and
yeah,
he's
that's
interested in you,
that's
and that
obvious,
is that is.
Oh,
dangerous.
I would not feel safe in any way if you were not here. If like all of you were not here, right?
Yeah, I just like I feel like we like that had to be said because
Let's
it is a
signal
true
that.
answer to that question.
Yes, it is.
and it
Let's-
is disingenuous to pretend it's not.
Yes, Luke, can you flip a token for that, please?
Yeah.
Um,
I'm just here for biting social commentary.
and so with regards to this game that Shoddy and this dude are playing, who's really in control here, Ash? Because Pyros is just the guard dog at this point. Like he's just feeling protective of his friends. And you know, he like has some complicated feelings for Shoddy, so he's just like looking out for her in terms of like that threat.
it's. I think it is Dracon, but like Rice actually has like a lot of influence on the situation, right? Like the building up of Rice as a figure has meant that like he's not going to act directly against this person, right?
Right.
So if he thinks that
shielded
Rice,
against.
if he thinks that like if he thinks that Shadi belongs to Rice, then but like that's been made like really gray area, so he's still trying to find the space there.
Yeah. Okay.
It seems like
Rice is the tipping point, right? Like Rice is the pivot on which all this spins.
Like
It
otherwise,
seems like
at which point, if he thinks it's okay with Rice, he's going to go into like wooing. At which point, then Shadi would have the power. But at the moment, it's the other way around.
And it seems as though he's intimidated by Rice because Rice sort of represents his younger, bolder self, right?
Yep.
Like,
and also
like he's
Rice,
clearly not.
Rice is like of the current military, right? Like, whereas he feels slightly. This whole party is about being like, I'm not washed up. I'm not washed up.
I haven't been put out to pasture in the
What are you
East.
talking about?
Why would you say that?
Great. Okay. So let's keep the scene rolling.
Yeah. So the question I want to ask, and I don't know if one of these questions will do it, which is how could I convince him that it's in his best interest to side that like he also has something to lose, which is he knows he has something to lose. He knows that he is being threatened, or that he has a chance of like losing his social status here. How can I convince him that we should side together to watch out for one another? Like it's in his best interest to have allies, but that he'd have to help us as well. And that's what I want to ask, and I don't know if any of these questions will allow me to ask that question.
What here is useful or valuable to me?
Yeah, I feel like it fits into that category.
That sounds good. It's more transactional than I mean it to be, but that question is very like, what do I get? But yeah, that's fair.
Like present him with the threat of his social standing, right? Like if you pull him into a situation where his like reputation is directly on the line, he's going to react defensively and going to like he's not going to, because he's a fighter, right? If you put him in a situation where someone who's important in the current republic is like an affront to him, then he's going to be like, no, fuck you, right? Like he's not going to take that lying down. That's an important, because yeah, he's a warrior. He will not accept that from these fucking nerds.
So we could manipulate his urge to fight.
Yes,
is what you're saying. That's the point of leverage.
Right. If we get someone else to challenge him,
we pit the philosopher king and the warrior king against one another.
Right. So, in magical PC silent language,
with your eyebrows,
with my eyebrows, I'm going to look to Rise, and I'm going to look to Rise. What's going to be obvious on my face is that I'm looking to Rise for permission. And what I'm asking is like, can I give him my arm and let him lead me back into the ball, like on his arm instead? So that, because I think he'll be attacked for that. I think he'll be attacked for having this pariah on his arm, and I think he'll respond in defense. But you can read any amount of that you want.
Yeah, I think what Rise does is I feel like some of this was all like very fast, and so like there's the like squeezing of the arm, that Rise was doing, and then they let go and are like, well, I should go find those powerful people to befriend, like giving him like a And then
Also, secret IRL language.
yeah.
I mean, like,
and then
if
just
you-
like turn without like giving my arm to Shoddy.
Yeah, and I think as you turn, right, he totally. This is the point at which he's like, "Good lad, go get him," and totally gives you a butt slap, right? Like,
Yeah.
that is the point at which the butt slap happens.
Oh, that's what we've been waiting for.
Yeah, we had to work it in at some point this
Yeah.
episode.
All right, so I think that's.
And do we go to break on the butt slap?
Yep.
Right.
Like,
Slap.
yeah. All right, we'll
Oh,
be
dear.
back in a minute, chat.